with Genie.
So today is Tuesday the 29th. I know I missed out on doing Thursday's vlog for you guys, but I had a lot going on. So today is going to be a twofer. So I'm thinking if I should do a DIY for the next video, or if I should just do another vlog. Depending on how this conversation goes, we're going to see. So today's topic, I want to talk about being my age and wanting to start my own family, and being this age and having my ifs and doubts about having my own family. So I'm 29, as I keep repeating because I'm almost 30, and I believe that I want to start my own family. So I'm not saying that I never had the opportunity to, and I never had the urge of wanting to start my own family, but I've realized the reason why I haven't been blessed in that area yet is because I haven't found, I want to say the right person, but I guess it wasn't meant to be for it to even happen. So let's talk about how when you're 29, actually let's say when you're 25 and up and you don't have any children, the stigma and how things hurt people when you don't have kids, or when you are just starting a family, or if you're waiting too late or whatever. First of all, I come from a Panamanian family, so majority of everybody's Panamanian, but most of us come from, Jamaica by way of Barbados, whatever. But all of us was either born and raised under a Panamanian household. So me being that part of born under the Panamanian household, you know how it is in Afro-Latin families. You get married, you have children in your 20s. Sometimes it happens before your 20s, whatever. But 20s is your prime time to find your esposo or esposa, or your novio or novia, and you have kids, you live together, you move in, you get married, you have this big wedding or whatever, and that's how it's supposed to go. Now, when you come from a family like that, which I believe is when you reach a certain kind of age, everybody wants to be like, well, you're 29, how come you don't have any kids? Or, when you gonna start having kids? Or, it puts a lot of pressure on, like, all right, well, am I ready? Like, should I have a kid, or should I be ready? Should I have a kid with the person that I'm with, or should I wait? Like, can I get myself together? Am I even ready to be a mother? Am I ready to be a father? Whatever the case may be. Like, you have all these thoughts in your head, like, okay, should I even go through it? Should I even try? Whatever. So those are all the feelings that conjure up. But then it gets hurtful after a while, because it's like, okay, well, you're getting older. Of course, you want to live on your legacy by having children. But then you just don't want to have kids with any and everybody. And then you don't want to just be pregnant or have a child and you'll be a single mother or be a single father, or whatever the case may be. Whatever it is. I know for me, I don't want to have a child with just anybody. And I don't want to have a child and then grow up in like a toxic, I want to say a toxic environment, because if my child only sees me working as a working parent and it's only me and my child in the household, and then a father pops in and out, like that, it'll bother me, because I don't want to recreate the cycle that how I grew up in, where I saw my mother working. She took care of me, of course. My grandparents stepped in, like my mother's parents stepped in. They always took care of me, so I know what it is to come from a two-parent household. But I wouldn't want my child to go through, seeing their dad in and out, or seeing me with somebody else that's taking over their dad's position. Like I don't want my kid to go through that. But sometimes things work out that way. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes relationships don't work out. So you have to move on or whatever. But me personally, I don't want that to happen. And the next thing, I just don't want to have a baby with any and anybody. Like I want to be able to say that I took my time. If it happened naturally, it happened naturally. I was wise enough to wait. I lived and did everything I wanted to do, which technically I did. I have traveled. I have, seen many different things. I lived my 20s. I done partied. I done did a whole bunch of stuff. So technically, as I embark in my 30s, like I've got it out of my system. So now it's, if I want to do those things, it's just a choice. It's like, oh, I didn't get to do this, or I regret doing this, or I regret this, or I regret that. I don't have any regrets in my 20s. Like, I done relived and did everything I wanted to do. So now, it's like I do have the time to dedicate to having my own family or starting my own family. So that's that. Then, I just don't want to be, like I said, I don't want the whole horror story of having a baby father from hell, or my child, is scorned or have psychological problems because of whatever me and their dad is going through, whatever the case may be. So those are the feelings that I have towards me and wanting a family, because I do want my own family, but I just want to know that, or be certain that, it is the right thing. I did what I needed to do. I'm stable enough to take care of me and a child. I'm stable enough to, I have all the kitty things out of my system per se. So, next topic I want to discuss is friends with kids. So, being that you might be the only person out of your crew or your friends that don't have kids, and everybody else have children, you have to learn to accept, like, certain things that they can do, you could do, or certain things that you could do and probably relinquish time or whatever, they can do. Prime example, I always wanted to schedule like a big girls trip, or like friends or whatever, to go on this big trip, maybe 2 or 3 weeks kind of trip. Now I can do that. I could take 2 and 3 weeks to go on a trip and be fine. But if you have friends that got kids, they're like, oh no, I can't do a week, or I can't do 2 weeks because, they have to, tend to their kids. So sometimes if you have a friend that doesn't have kids, sometimes they don't understand that. But then you have some friends that do understand that. I'm one of those friends that do understand, like, okay, you can't take as much time as I can, but you can still do what you need to do. Like, if you're like a really good friend, like, you will try to include their kids into whatever you guys are doing. Like, make it something like, all right, if you're doing a trip, for example, like, say if y'all want to take a trip to, I don't know, like Atlantis or something, like somewhere in the Bahamas, Atlantis. Okay, that's kid friendly. You can bring your kid with you. Or if you guys want to do a cruise, you could bring your kids with you. Like, there's certain things that you could do with your friends if you want to have like a big trip, or if you want to have like a group setting and the kids or whatever. Like, even something as simple as having like a sleepover or something. Like, you just want to have a night out where you and your friends just vibe. Everybody's in the house, you just chilling. You can bring your kids. The kids could be in the other room playing video games or whatever, while the adults is in the next room, relaxing, going over whatever they might have went through for the week, and they just winding down. You can have things like that. But then I have seen some people that have friends that have children, and they're upset that they can't do what you could do because they either have responsibilities that they have to deal with their kid. Now, that's not being understanding, and some people I know that aren't understanding. So you have to, like, it's like a sketchy road. Like, you can't do things last minute. You have to plan ahead, and you have to be considerate of other people's time when they have kids. It's not like you know, I could call somebody and be like, all right, well, next weekend we're going out or we're gonna do a dinner. You have to be like, no, next month we're gonna do a dinner. I want you to be able to have a babysitter so we can have like a girls' day or a friends' day or whatever the case may be. So that way your kid is taken care of, you have time for yourself or whatever. Or you could do something where everybody's included. So that's the gist of being the friend that doesn't have kids, but then you have friends that do have kids. So here's the next topic of discussion that I want to talk about is when you have friends and you're the single friend and everybody else is in a relationship. So here's another topic that I have been, I don't want to say inaugurated in, but that's me. I'm the single friend. Most of my friends are in relationships, and I have a lot of friends. I can't say even some. I have a lot of friends that are married or engaged. So when you're the single friend now, you don't want to feel like you're the third wheel, because if they invite you to do certain things like a couples trip, or you don't know if it's a couples trip they just do or something where everybody's together or whatever and everybody's all booed up and you the only person by yourself, so it makes you feel weird like, all right, this was cool, I'm about to leave or whatever. But in those instances, you just have to mix and mingle, know your time limit. I give it a time limit, like, all right, I'm gonna be here for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and I'm out. So it depends on how you feel. And then you just don't want to bring any and everybody around your friends. And then you don't want your friends' friends or your friends' significant other thinking any kind of way because you're the single friend. Like, you don't want them to be like, oh, well, your single friend is a bad influence or whatever the case may be. So you also have to be mindful of that. So when you are the single one and everybody else is in a relationship, you kind of like, I know for me, I fall back from some of my friends because I give them time to be in a relationship. If they ever need, time to be, have time for Friends Day or whatever the case may be, I'm there or whatever. But when you're in a relationship, you don't want to bombard their time with their significant other, and then you are like the overbearing friend that's always, in that person's ear, and then that creates conflict. Because I know when I'm in a relationship, I separate my friends from my relationship. Like, my relationship is my relationship, and my friend's relationship with them is that relationship. So I literally separate time. So I might be with my significant other or the person I'm in a relationship with for majority of the day, and then I'll be like, you know what, this weekend I'm going out with my friends, or this day I'm going out with my friends, or we're doing whatever. Like, I try to balance both of them and schedule both of them together. Okay, so I want you guys to check out my next video, which is coming up next, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye. I forgot to tell you guys